following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this week's episode of the Hallmark of Greatness podcast, a podcast dedicated to highlighting the beauty of all the Hallmark, Lifetime, straight-to-TV movies that don't get the admiration they fully deserve. I'm Anthony Burke, and with me as always are two of the best Donald Trump impressionists in the world. He sadly hurt his ankle and unfortunately can't play American football for the next 6 weeks. It's Joe Higgins.
Bone Spurs, innit? That's Trump. I don't think he says that.
That wasn't your best impression, Joe. I thought you were going to do better one.
China.
There we go. And he's in serious trouble after donating a £100 note to a charity and asking for £99.75 back in change. It's Craig Lowe.
11p seems more than fair for anything that you're going to find in a charity shop. And if they need to provide chain business, go next door to the newsagents and cash in.
£100 notes exist?
Yeah.
Did they?
Oh, maybe not. I don't know, actually.
I thought maximum was 50.
You get a 50 squidder, but
I know where to take them.
You didn't actually do it, so it doesn't matter.
Had the illusion.
Craig, impression of Donald Trump?
No.
Good enough. If you'd like to keep up to date with all things Hallmark of Greatness, you can follow the show on Twitter at Hallmark of Great, Instagram at Hallmark of Greatness. Or if you'd like to get in touch with any recommendations or thoughts or anything you think we may have missed, you can email the show at hallmarkofgreatness@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook. Joe's got a Twitch channel, which he did last night. Yeah.
Did?
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Here, Anthony.
Yeah.
I'll see you in a bit, lad.
I know. It's what minor surgery will do to you. Getting your leg cut open.
But when those hair plugs kick in.
It was looking at the timeline where literally the last thing you're saying going, it's not that bad. I'm feeling all right, to be honest with you. And then just nothing for about 4 days. And then it's like, how are you doing? I can't sleep. I'm in that much pain.
And then we went, well, just move the recording to a different day. And then you were like, I can't do this day. We're not doing it tonight anyway.
I didn't realise.
2 messages previous was the day we agreed on.
Too many Coco ones.
Yeah.
I just hadn't swiped back.
Back
When I said it feels all right, I didn't realise, but my leg was still very numb. I can't feel anything. This is great.
Yeah, when that wears off.
It was the next morning when I went, shit. I have been sliced open.
Yeah, and I had to cut bits out and whatnot.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to this week's episode. Win, lose, or love.
Yes.
Never will it get it right.
Oh, I hate you so much.
Go ahead.
Win, lose, or love. I really struggled with this, and this is kind of for the English people out there. Failed celebrity yoga instructor Hortense Pollock is down on her luck and about to be kicked out of her apartment. But a chance meeting with mid-90s adult Eddie Munster lookalike Bob Mills, who offers her a recurring role on the daytime show Win, Lose, or Draw, could turn her life around. But in the very first episode, she is smitten by the lesser Ross brother, Paul Ross, and falls hopelessly head over heels in love with him. Can she draw a map to his heart and win, or will she lose and have to go back to selling sketchy craft items on QVC? Who fucking cares?
Do you have a win, lose, or draw?
I do. I've literally got the Wikipedia article open here because I was reading it. It was all right. It
was just a daft Pictionary, really, wasn't it?
It was good off-school.
If you're feeling poorly,
off-school poorly, and you could watch that. But I didn't realise that. Yeah, it was originally hosted by Danny Baker.
Everything
in the early 90s was Danny Baker, wasn't it?
Danny Baker.
But it had Danny Baker. Darren Day did a teen version, which is fucking worrying, knowing what we know about notorious shagrat Darren Day. Then Shane Ritchie, Bob Mills, and then Lisa Tarbuck brought it back in 2004. So yeah. She did. She reboots everything. She rebooted Blockbusters, didn't she?
Yeah.
No, Darren did that.
No, before Darren did.
There was a pre attempt.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, I didn't realize it ran for 8 years, with that many hosts. But it was fun.
As you can tell, listeners, that we're so eager to talk about this show. This episode
I'm talking about Win, Lose, or Draw. There is an American
Lose,
version as well, but I couldn't be asked looking that up because I've never seen it.
Because they don't draw, it's just win or lose.
Well, I mean, they just win.
Yeah.
If you're talking about Vietnam, they still won that, they claim.
I mean, I wasn't going on about war. I was going about just in general. They have overtime to therefore determine the winner.
Right. I see.
I went down the sports route, not the war route.
Potato, isn't it?
Sneaky secret sports film, this one for you, Anthony. A double biller.
Not really.
This one.
There's sports in it.
Soccer.
They
Someone kicks
mentioned
a
him.
football.
Yeah, association soccer.
European celebrations.
No, it just annoyed me.
There's a man standing there in a baseball uniform. Is it called a uniform? Kit?
Sure.
I don't know. I'm not a sports guy.
I'm not counting this as a sports film, so no.
It counts as one of your sports films.
No.
You only get 4 a year. That's 2 of them gone so far.
Win, lose, or love. Bitter rivals for the position of PTA president, single parents Clara and Alex soon discover that hate can just as easily turn to love. I forgot to put commas in my thing.
Or how to breathe.
Bitter rival, complete stranger shows up at parent-teacher meeting and somehow becomes president.
El Presidente.
Yeah, because the thingy lady, was it Margaret? Was the former thingy was just horny as hell for him? Yeah, weird. Fucking hell. Right.
Let's do this.
I've literally just finished watching this and I can remember nothing about it.
We open on what's a sign of poor quality. No drone shot this time. We open on someone waking up in bed. It's an instant sign that we've no budget.
And it's our male protagonist of this film, Alex.
Yes.
Who has a daughter.
He doesn't pay much attention to.
She's called Emma.
Oh, I can't remember the names.
I think it was Emma and Oliver, wasn't it? Kids.
Girl, child, and boy child.
Yeah, we'll call them girl. Yeah, but most of her care is looked after by her their grandmother.
Yes.
Yeah, the mum is
Deed. Yes. And he's like, she's eating a cereal and shit, and she's like, "Oh, will you come to my soccer practice?" And he's like, "No,
not this time, honey.
I can think of nothing more boring." He's like, "No,
I can lightly balance a ball on my foot."
No,
I swear to God,
they kept doing that, and it's not.
I swear to God, when she pulled it off, you could hear sellotape.
Yeah.
It's not that she moved her foot away; the ball was still there.
Sewed to her leg. Yeah. And he's like, "No, I've got a big business thing to do today because
he owns a business
advertising agency, I think.
With his friend, and it was his now dead wife.
Yes,
it was named after the three of them.
Yes, it's called Alex, Jeff, and Dead Wife Advertising Agency. I want to say Ruth. I think she was called.
No, it was TAG. It was like Tilly or something like that.
Balloon Girl.
TAG.
Yeah. Anyway, and he's like, "Yeah, I've got to go and speak to Hal Harrington."
Hal Harrington. Harrington Sports.
Who's a menace.
Equipment. Greg Grunberg.
Yes.
Him of Heroes fame.
Yep.
Actual star. Well, star, quote, quote.
He must have known the director or someone who was in there. So.
That seems to be how he gets the majority of his work.
Well, yeah, now he was in all the Star Wars with J.J. Abrams.
Well, he's a J.J. Abrams guy now, isn't he? So,
well, take it where you can get it.
Yeah.
And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have Clara, who drops her kids off, and there is like a bake sale going on outside.
Yep. She brings store-bought.
Donuts, and her friend Nancy, played by that lass from My Name Is Earl, not Jamie Presley, the other one. Nadine Velasquez, who played, I can't remember her actual characters. I could just look it up, couldn't I?
Yeah, you could.
In My Name Is Earl.
She was in something else as well.
Catalina. Yes, of course it was. Nothing else that you'd have seen, haven't there?
There is. I'm sure there's something else. I'll Google it in a
minute. Who they're trying to raise money for they keep calling it like the EPG or something, but it's the PTA for British people. It's the Parent Teachers Association.
Yeah.
We do have American listeners, I've checked. Mostly in Texas, which is worrying.
Really?
Sort yourself out, Texas.
Yeah. Hallmark, it is. Texas are quite religious. Hallmarky films.
Well, I don't think they're listening to it for us going, Hallmark, really good. They should do more.
That's true.
Yeah.
What? Is that not what the show is?
No. And they've managed to raise $24
out of $50 worth of cakes.
Yeah. Well, she was supposed to make cookies, but her weird feral son ate all the oatmeal, and so she couldn't make them. And I'm like, who wants oatmeal biscuits anyway? Nobody.
No one.
Stick some raisin there. We're good to go.
Oh, why don't? If I'm eating a biscuit, I want a nice biscuit, not a nice biscuit with coconut and shit on it. Not them ones.
They're quite nice.
They are all right, but
they're not called all right biscuits. Though.
I know.
They're quite nice.
I'll have them if there's now left in the variety box, but. And then what's it called? Like the drama teacher walks past, and she tries to lure him in with a donut, and he's like, "No." But
good, thanks.
In a couple of days' time, it's sports day.
Yes.
Which seems like a bigger deal over there than it is here.
I used to think Sports Day was quite big when I was in primary school. It was like the event you look forward to. But...
Well, yeah, because your parents could come and be bored.
We did Sports Day. When it's primary school, it was all just egg and spoon race type Sports Day.
Yeah, sack race, dressing up race.
Secondary school, I liked it because I did the sports.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a Sports Day at secondary school. My word.
Yeah.
But it was actual Olympic style.
I think me and you were behind a shed smoking at that point.
Yeah,
Craig.
good Lord, no.
It was proper 100 meters. It was long.
Oh yeah, we had
Taz, we had
as
that, yeah.
well. But
Oh,
the whole
no.
school had to go out and watch.
Yes.
Come hell or high water, you had
Yeah.
to go and sit there, take your chairs out from the classrooms and sit on a field watching 8 lads in vests run 1,500 meters.
I think I was probably in the music block listening to something at
That makes
that
sense.
time. No way I
No,
would be
we-
sat outside with the proper children.
The healthy children.
Yeah, with those
But
healthy
yeah,
lungs.
it was, and she's like, oh well, is there any possibility we can like combine it with like the drama department?
And rightly
No,
so, they said, no, get in the bin.
They said
because-
no because that's not a thing.
No, it's not.
That's not how this works. Is the fucking baseball team going to come out in the middle of Midsummer Night's Dream and knock a couple of homers into Kim back row? No.
Here, jazz it up.
Yeah,
It would be
well, yeah.
much more entertaining.
And he's like, no, that's a stupid idea. So
Correct.
that's
And
that.
He's right.
That's
Credits.
that. That's that.
Yep,
yeah.
that's that ended.
Done.
Smash back to Alex
Alex.
and Jeff, his partner, business partner, and they're watching a video of Hal Harrington. And genuinely, I laughed at this because it was pretty funny. Because it was very Answered My Eyes Johnson in its it's American yelling directly at the camera.
Yeah.
What's the thing in Family Guy with the inflatable arms?
Wacky
down?
waving inflatable
It's
arm
that.
shoot man. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that, but like he'd employed 2 cheerleaders to dance beside him, and like, everyone just looked weirdly uncomfortable. It
Yeah.
was quite fun. And he's like, I want that, but better. And they're like, there's bigger stores now.
Yeah.
You need to sort of move with the times. We
You
can
need to
help
get the moms in.
You need to get them. You need to get the family in. And he's like, well, you need to work out how to do that. He goes to leave. He chases him down, and he's like, no, we can
We can
do
do
this
sports
for you.
day. Nothing says like family friendly like sports day.
Well, he has to
for your
sign a.
sports store.
Was it a permission slip or something for his daughter to
Yes.
take part?
Yes.
Yes. And then that's where he gets the idea of, oh, sports day.
Yes. So he
Yeah.
chases him down. He's like, we'll film it at the sports day if you give him like $5,000 worth of gear.
$5 worth
Yeah.
of gear. That's quite a
I mean,
lot,
this-
really.
I mean, how much is he charge? This poor man.
Again,
His
he
business is apparently floundering.
he's not. He's the biggest independent sports retailer in the
That means
region.
now- That means
Oh,
now
yeah.
there's a guy that's like 2 streets down that's got a tiny little shop that sells footballs nobody goes into. I bet he's the best independent in the region.
Oh,
Total
wait.
sports, mate.
Listen, he can read your mind. So thank
That's
God.
true. He can. Gosh.
And he's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. But you better make it good. And he's like, okay, I'll
How
try
good
my
can you
best.
how good can you make a commercial children's sports day?
$5 worth of sports equipment is pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, it's
For a
good. It's,
primary school or whatever it is. In,
Well, seeing as how they
yeah, it's-
only
it's an
seem
elementary, yeah.
they only seem to have a football team, like a soccer
A
team.
soccer team.
Because I don't think can kids
Well, they
that
will have
young
others.
play American football.
I think they have sort
Yeah.
of like a touch football or
Hot
a
water.
pee-wee.
So you don't need pads and that, do you? So like,
Yeah.
it's not like
think
it's
they
going
do.
that
I think
expensive.
They do use
soccer is sort of looked on more as the sort of elementary school
Yeah.
sport.
I
of
did
choice.
play it at school. I was on the blue team.
Yes.
And he's yeah, okay. I don't know how many pole vaults you can buy with $5,000. I imagine 3 at least. So he goes to the PTA
But
meeting.
nothing else. No matter if you just get the actual.
Nah, just do it over a canal.
not even
You'll
not
be
even any
fine.
poles to vault over, just the pole vaults.
Just pile a load of kids up and see if you can clear them. So he goes to the PTA meeting, and Margaret, the outgoing head of the PTA, who is your standard sort of snarky.
She's in charge of the cheerleaders, and
She's the alpha mum, isn't she?
Yeah.
In this thing, she's
Yeah.
the
she likes sports, which is crucial in this.
yeah, because her kids are good at sports.
And yeah.
To hell with all you arty-farty children.
In fact, she pastes over Clara's art festival thing with her own posters, which they waste a lot of paper in this film as well.
Yeah.
Says us.
I was gonna say, you know what I was like.
And she says, well, yeah, I have to step down. Does anyone want to nominate? Nancy nominates Clara, and then Alex nominates himself. And he's like,
Because, yeah.
we should do
No,
sports day.
It's because he wants to come in and he explains to them that they'll film this.
Sports day.
They'll film a commercial for Hal Harrington the third, whoever he is. But he'll give
just
us-
stands at the
he'll
podium
give us-
going, come on.
Yeah, he'll give us $5,000 worth of whatever if we can film the thing, the commercial here.
Yeah.
To which that Clara comes in and goes, "Well, no. What about the arts? We need something for that." Well, that's not what he's offering.
No,
Take
yeah,
the
he's not offering-
$5,000.
Yeah, take the $5,000 for these sports stuff, and then,
And then
let
you
him,
can-
let him film the commercial, and
is-
you're done.
take
You
the
can use that
sports
£5 grand
budget,
for
yeah.
sports and use the sports budget for arts.
Yeah.
It all balances out. You can't spend 10
You've
grand
just
on
injected
sports equipment.
£5 grand into the
Yeah.
system. Like,
But no. She
Yeah,
goes, oh,
looking
but what
for
about
logic
the
where we
arts?
shouldn't.
Sort
oh,
of.
Clara is non-union Heather Graham.
Yeah, I had her as Reese Witherspoon.
It's the forehead. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's got a big old forehead. Says me. But yeah.
I just understand her
no,
whininess of,
she's
no, we're not going
whining.
to let them do that.
No, because it's not what I want. And what
'Cause
I
they
want.
Oh, because she's a bit scared of her son to get hurt in a sport.
Because they have to be unlikable characters for at least 2/3 of the film.
Yeah.
I didn't like Forever.
So he nominates himself.
Yeah.
They both get 11 votes each in an exciting 22 vote tie. And so,
Surely they should have looked into this and realised that there was the possibility of a tie. Have something in place other than look at both of you
Mate,
do it.
Maybe
The
have someone
rules,
who has
they check the
final say.
bylaws. The bylaws.
Constantly.
There's
The
no
drama
bylaws.
teacher.
It's just Jeff in the corner. Just
The
making
drama
it up as
teacher
it
is
goes
all
along.
in his head. He's like, the cons of the bylaws. If it's 2 people nominated, they share it. And I'm like, well, who can forget the 2 popes? Yeah. So and he's like, oh, I'm going to make your life hell. And she's like, oh, I'll get you. And
It's a classic story of sports versus art.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, tale as old as time.
yeah, that's what Beauty and the Beast was originally about.
Indeed, yeah.
And so, like, he goes to a meeting, like a PTA meeting, and he arrives a bit late, and they buzz through everything. Like, oh, the projector's broke, and he sort of goes, we're still using projectors. They should be using multimedia presentations. And everyone just looks at him, and she goes, we can give you 200 quid towards the projector if the school can find the rest. And I'm like, where are you getting this money from?
You're not selling enough, and you're making a loss on your fucking cake sales every other week.
And why are you not using this $5 grand that you make free? Anyway.
You can all have a
All
projector.
throughout this film, I was like, what? Why? Use this money.
Could have been used for set dressing for whatever Shakespeare play you're putting on for each that are in the drama club.
Yeah, at
Well,
the
who
drama
doesn't
club,
wanna
there
be
is
there?
only 4 kids there as well. Yeah,
So
one
one
of them
wants to play
is.
football.
Let's do sonnets.
Is he called? I think he was called Griffin, which is another. Yeah, don't name your kids after mythical animals. But yeah, and she's like, no, we move fast in the world of PTA, and I haven't got time to hold your hand. I'm like, it's the fucking PTA. Like, you don't have that much power. You organise a raffle about Easter time, and all your kids win the eggs. In my experience,
There was only that 1 point as well. Why couldn't they just slow it
Oh
down?
no,
at
there's
the
something
film?
about the bus stop being too close to the school or road or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense. I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest. And he's like, oh, okay. Is there anything I can do? And she gives him like a load of envelopes to fill. And like, it's supposed to be like this Herculean task of, oh, he'll never do 800 envelopes in an evening. And he does.
Shot. I mean,
Yeah.
And
really.
comes up with some.
And the next morning she comes in and
Yeah.
he's holding a cake auction, which is different from a cake raffle or cake sale.
Yeah,
Because
I
in,
understand
in
Is
that.
he's
reality,
auctioning off a
nobody-
donut.
Nobody would ever pay more, maybe $1 for a cake. I don't care how much you're auctioning. Fucking nonsense.
But I mean, he does do like the patter, and he's like, it's this delicious, and he sells it because that's sort
I
of
mean,
his job in
He
advertising.
might as well have left a 99-cent fucking price tag on the front of that cake. It's like, no.
Yeah, it was, but whatever. And she was like, oh, well done. Well, you can't do cake sales without prior permission. And he's like, oh, according to the bylaws, because he's also some sort of fucking solicitor now as well.
The bylaws are like half a page long. It's not that difficult.
The bylaws are all in the drama teacher's head. You just tell him that it's in there, and he goes, yes, I think it is,
I mean, there's way too much politics in his Hallmark. It's like, fuck Star Wars Episode 1.
It is. There's a lot of it. And so then she goes, oh, here's your envelopes. And she's like, ooh, swoon. I see you're taking this seriously. And he's like, yeah, we're still filming this thing, though.
Yeah, fuck you. Bye.
Because, there's another election. Like,
Yeah,
this is
they have to have another election 2 weeks later. Why they can't just have it like right after?
Do they have an election for PTA head every 2 weeks? Because that seems a massive waste of everyone's fucking time.
I think it's only if it's tie that side. Well,
Yeah,
it's a tie, so you
it's-
can both be president, but only
It's
for a
essentially they have
fortnight.
to go on the
and then
election
we
with
go, yeah.
the.
Ask the drama teacher and his
Fair.
bylaws. Yes, I think that is correct. And then just like a load of shit happens. Like, it's all getting to know you nonsense and them sort of being obnoxious towards each other. At the drama club where Griffin's there and there's not enough kids to do it because it's drama club. Clara's kid comes in, girl child comes in. And he's like, oh, the sport's finished early. Can I just sit here? And then she's like, wow, Shakespeare. I
Wow,
can
I
dig
like
that.
poems.
Sits backwards on a chair and does a rap. No, that doesn't happen. But it felt like that's where it was going.
All the cool kids love Shakespeare.
She was the only one that managed to understand what Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day is all about, or whatever it is. I don't know.
Which one it was?
Yeah, and like homework is go and write a poem. And she's like, oh, I want to write a poem about my mum, but I don't remember her because she's dead.
Then you can't write a poem about her then.
Well, you could. It could be called Mum, who were
Mum,
you?
who were you? I don't know you.
Were you my mum? Where did I come from? See, these are all dope rhymes. Yeah. So she goes home. She's writing this thing. Grandma's helping. There's something where they have to go and like hire a restaurant.
Yeah, for no reason. It's like the fundraiser or
a gala or something.
Gala.
Okay, so they're raising money. Like, but at this point, they've sort of made like friends, and I think they've agreed to do it as an arts festival, as a activities day.
Activity day.
It's the worst.
Because
rolls off the tongue, and
because they do some thinking, don't they, about family, and it's like where family is always the winner is the strap line they come up with, and I'm like, I bet Dom Draper's shitting his kecks, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say this is the worst episode of Mad Men ever.
And they're like, yeah, and so they sort of go and pitch it to Hal, and Hal's like, I don't really like it, but let's see where you're going with this.
I'm a sports goods store. I don't want nothing to do with this.
Why would I want a load of euphoniums in my sports store?
Yeah.
But he's like, no, I've got this vision and it'll be great and it'll work. And he's like, oh, well, okay, we'll see. They go and book this thing, and there's some bullshit about a deposit, and he manages to blag that with his cool connections. And the guy's like,
all he did was
website
exchange goods, really. They said they'd do a free website redesign for him in exchange for not having to pay this
installation fee on the dance floor.
Well done.
The follow-up to Sophie Ellis Bextor's Murder on the Dance Floor.
It didn't seem that much.
Non-stop action by the minute, this film.
Again, but the thing is as well, there was no real sort of chemistry between them because they were both quite unlikable people.
For the majority of this film, you really dislike both of them.
Yeah.
But also dislike the kids as well. Or is that just me?
I didn't mind the kid. The boy kid.
Well, I don't think it was the kids. I think it was the story, because that story's been done so many times where, the dad wants the daughter to play sports, but she doesn't want to play sports, and the mum.
It's opposite day.
I can't be bothered.
Clara doesn't want boy child to do sports in case he gets hurt, and he doesn't really want to do like acting and that.
No, he wants to play football or soccer.
Gotcha. And he's like, at one point, he's Googling how to ask your mum if you can play football. And I'm like, if you can't ask your mum, you shouldn't be looking it up on the internet, right? Also, unrestricted access to an adult's laptop is dangerous. But here we are. And then it comes to, like, they're like, oh, we'll paint banners, and they're painting banners and shit, and, like, I don't care.
It's just,
it's painting banners, and then
this middle section is just them two. It's just that it's nonsense of them two. Oh, look, they're connecting now. They're slowly falling for each other. All right,
more inventive. You know what, the two scenes between them having a meet on swing set, kids making banners, they have a little discussion on the thing, and someone comes and tells them the cupboard's flooded, all the banners are knackered, and so they go and do more fucking banners. I was like,
listen, we've got a lot of banners made. Like, the prop department went mental.
Almost as if they shot in the same half hour, those two scenes.
You have to fill that 90 minutes away, Craig.
He's supposed to, Alex is supposed to have a meeting with Hal, like, for the final, like, plan for this thing, but he's too busy playing football with boy child and girl child, and, like, basically fucks them off entirely. Hal's like, no, I don't want any of this now. It's being sports day or it's not happening at all.
Which is fair enough.
That's what he signed on for.
He's the paying
and if the boss, if you've got dealings with a company and the boss can't be bothered to come and
well, Jeff was there. Jeff's a partner.
He is, but he seems like he's a secondary partner.
Looks a bit like Andy Dick. I've just realised.
He looked familiar as well. I can't.
I
looked him up and I was expecting some sort of wow moment.
I feel like he's probably been in Scrubs or something.
He'll be a.
He's appeared in a lot of things. He was Gill Girls.
He's that kind of. But yeah, if the owner of the company that the person you are dealing with
can't even be asked to answer your phone.
Fuck it.
So Jeff shows up at the school and he's like, "Listen, you fuck, we're not doing activities day because it's stupid.
Changed all these banners because they're shit. Kids have done them. This is a professional film shoot.
Just want it to look like a lot of daft kids have finger painted this." And Alex is like, "But no, we're doing activities day." I'm like, "I promise now." And Jeff's like, "No, we're not. Do you want this company to go under? Is this what Ruth died for?"
It begins with T.
All right. And he's like, "No, okay, we'll do sports day then, I guess." While Clara's lurking around the corner.
Oh, it's the let me explain.
It's not a let me explain. It's a this isn't what it looks like, which I think is different enough to warrant its own jingle.
Yeah. This isn't what it looks like. Colon. Let me explain.
Yeah, so she overhears him saying, well, sports day's better anyway, or something like that. And she's like, so this was it all along, you've just used us.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. And she goes, I'm not standing around here to listen to any reasonable explanation. I'm going to go and buff my forehead. She stomps off. He's like, Jeff, you fucking muller. Look, what have you done?
I was in there for a minute.
Yeah. Now I've got to go and talk to my stupid child about balloons. There's this whole, like, one day for her birthday when she was 6, they filmed her entire bedroom with red balloons. That would be terrifying to wake up to.
Like a fucking Stephen King
Blood
novel.
in my eyes.
And then they just keep popping and you're like, fuck, no.
And they're like, oh no, you loved it so much, we just stayed in there all day. And I'm like, that's cruel and unusual. I'd be sweaty as
worst
well. Because it's
birthday.
like,
Yeah, there's a lot
Air
of static
compressed.
electricity going on as well.
oh
So
yeah.
much static
That's how,
electricity.
that's how his wife died.
She came and lit a match.
No, she just went by and a Zeppelin was going overhead and she went straight up to it like that. And she's like, oh yeah, I remember Mum now. And she reads him this poem and he's like, that's great. Children's poetry is always shit. I don't care what anyone says. And then, like, they have the election thing.
Yep,
And he
decides to
comes
step
in
aside.
and
Says
like
he's not going
his
for it.
mum's been like, so
Dick.
it was a
You're a
work all
dick.
along. Yeah. And he's like, cheers, Mum. I was only trying to help. It's like this
There was
this,
a
com-
weird-
this company that provides food because you don't work. Oh, there's also a weird subplot with the
Yeah.
drama teacher and the mum trying to, like,
Yeah.
him trying to get into her pants and she's having none of it.
There is a weird continuity error at this bit. When they're at the house and the man bollocking him for being a dick, he says, right, well, we're going to school, and takes a beat and goes, I'm coming too.
Oh, yeah.
I'll drive. And then literally the next second, the mum and the daughter are both there, and he comes barging in as it's arrived. And I'm like,
He
did
had to
you
park
it-
up, mate.
drive together?
But in that
Because-
same point, the mum walks out and the daughter shuts the door, and then he says, "I'll drive."
Yeah.
Like, who are you saying that to?
Just to himself.
Idiots.
Like, shall I get an Uber? No, I'll drive. You talking to yourself again, Gary? Yes, I know. He kicks. He's like, I have a surprise witness, like that. And he comes in and he says, I withdraw from the because they've all the football teachers
Yeah.
parents are like, oh, we'll vote for you, vote for Pedro. And he's like, I withdraw from the race, and then like, the bylaws get called into existence again, and drama teacher's just thinking of grandma's bits, going, if only. And he's like, no, it's allowed. It's like, is it? Does anyone care at this point? So Clara gets the role,
Yay.
and Hal comes in and he's like, no, we're going to do activities day because I've seen what it means to be.
No, because I need to stay in business, and all you won't come
Yeah.
now if I remove $5,000 sponsorship.
And everyone high fives. We cut out back to like them shooting the first day of this advert. That
For Hal,
for Hal, and he's like, yeah, I do sports, I do music. The girl child reads a bit of Shakespeare, and this bit genuinely made me laugh because Hal goes, hey, and the kid goes, hey,
Yeah,
back at
he
it,
was,
which
yeah.
I was like, that's pretty funny.
But it was also his reaction of,
Yeah,
wait,
like-
I don't think that was going to happen.
And he's like, yeah, so it's great. We can all do this now. And the little weak kid, Griffin, like hoofs. Like, again, I don't think Americans understand how football works. You can't take that much time to drop the ball, walk back it. It's not a free kick. Right? Hoofs it into the net, and then they all high five. And then he
Different
gets a
game.
goal.
Soccer's a different game to football.
Yeah, possibly.
Soccer ball.
Soccer. And then, like, yeah, and then the film ends.
Yeah.
I don't even think they do a kiss at any point, do they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because then it pans out and they're all.
Oh,
all
it
the
does
kids,
pan-
like chasing
pan
Hal.
up,
Hal.
Yeah. It was fine.
I gave it a
Yeah.
5.
I-
A flat 5. It
I
was-
couldn't focus on it. It was just so beige.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I got a 5. Yeah, okay, it was there.
4.2.
Yeah, and I've gone with a 4.3.
Also,
Right.
the man in the main role wasn't handsome enough to be in the main role. He was kind of
That's
Weasley.
usually
He
my
looked
line.
he looked familiar as well.
He's not, trust me.
Oh no, okay, fair enough.
No, don't worry.
there's a few of them.
After having to scroll through to find anything even vaguely amusing, the upcoming segment.
Yeah.
All
Oh, right. Is that all him? All right.
Well, might as well be. Great facts.
I get a feeling we're doing far too many sort of not quite Hallmarky films because I can never find much about anything on these.
I mean, we only picked this one because it sounded mental when we found the synopsis.
Well, that's it, yeah. Right, so, great facts. Helen Matson played Clara, who I could have picked other films, but literally one after the other on our IMDb, these, you couldn't write it. So we've got Her Deadly Reflection, His Deadly Affair, and Deadly Cyberbully.
Deadly Cyberbully?
Why is everything so deadly?
I was going to
Ooh.
say literally one after the other on her IMDb. I was just
I
like,
would- I
why
would-
was she going for Deadly Script?
I was hoping it was going to be Her Deadly Thingy, His Deadly This, They're Deadly.
I was going to say, hope what a trilogy.
I am deadly, you are deadly, she is deadly, we are deadly. Yeah. I mean, Deadly Cyberbully. Yeah.
That's going to be a fun one. Corey Seaver played Alex, star of Student Seduction,
Ooh.
Decoys 2: Alienation.
Wait, is that a sequel, do you reckon?
Decoys 2 looks like a Species ripoff about 10 years too late.
Ah, okay.
So sexy alien.
Ooh. Why is it decoys is not like species is like a sexy word because it's got S's in it. Decoys is not a sexy word.
And also Disney's Summer of the Monkeys.
As in the animals or like Davy
No,
Jones?
yeah, not the fun 60s pop band.
Oh.
Which I think is some 90s TV film that the poster says from the studio and the spirit that brought you Lassie. I was just like, we got
Is
monkeys
Disney Lassie?
rescued. I didn't think so, but I was like, why are they mentioning me on this poster?
Also, like, hasn't Lassie been rebooted about 900 times?
Yes, well,
Hmm.
every time the dog dies.
No, just restart it.
Oh, we've lost
Do you think it's the
another
same Lassie?
Oh.
Just put it next to Walt Disney's head after every film.
And for finish the third out, we couldn't not do Greg Gumberg, who played Hal, star of, as we mentioned, Star Wars episode 7 and 9, not 8, because JJ didn't direct that one,
Nope.
Why have you got the Star Wars? Heroes, man.
which nobody remembers it anymore.
Heroes season 1, everyone remembers. It's awesome.
Yes, and but everybody remembered 2 more. You know why?
Yeah, it's Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
It's not.
right.
It's longer Game of Thrones.
He also,
Season 1 is a standalone. It's very good.
yeah, but then it ends on a cliffhanger where you go, "This is going to be amazing next season," and then they just talk.
That's why
for
you
a
just
full
write your
season.
own.
He was
Why is
also the
Greg Grunberg bombing everyone? That's Andy's fan fiction.
Why is that the one you've written? You can hear their thoughts.
I would just bomb him.
I was going to say, I couldn't even remember what his power was until
He could read thoughts, couldn't he?
Yeah.
He could hit, yeah, because he goes mental at the start and he can hear them all.
Yeah.
I've forgotten so much about Heroes.
Go back and watch season 1. It's really good.
Yeah, but it doesn't go anywhere. It's a
This
waste of time.
episode is sponsored by Heroes.
Cadbury's Mini Heroes.
Okay. Other than Heroes and Star Wars, he also starred in Big Ass Spider! Exclamation point.
Oh, okay. I'm assuming that's about the same sort of eight-legged freaks era. And,
I would
yeah.
imagine so. And also sandwiched in there, right between Star Wars Episode 7 and 9, we had Max Reload and the Nether Blasters.
Okay,
Come on,
so-
if that's not a porn.
I couldn't make my mind up what it was. I was like, with it being Nether in there, I was like, is this a Minecraft cash-in? I'm not quite sure what to expect from this, but
Oh, Max Reload, your Nether Blaster is pointing into me. No. Man, I'm going to have to look that up.
we might as well finish it out. We've had this director before, so I'm going to make pretty much the same joke I did last time he was on. Stephen R. Monroe directed this. He directed Forever in My Heart, Marry Mr. Darcy, and Mongolian Deathwood.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Max Reload and the Nether Blasters looks like a Ready Player One ripoff.
All right, fair enough. As I said, no Christian reviews on this one, unfortunately, at the time. Apparently, it's not wholesome. Dainty by DovorMovieGuide.org, so unfortunately, nothing on that side. So, thus ends Craig Fact for another week.
Yeah, similar to the Christian reviews, there's not a lot of actual real people's reviews. The only two I could find were both overwhelmingly negative. 2 out of 10. I'm a fan of the genre, but the female lead was plain fake and irritating by Skippin12315. Love having these sorts of movies on in the background while I'm doing boring and undemanding work, but I found this movie to be flat, boring, and meaningless, with very irritating lead characters across the board, but most especially Clara, whose personality seemed more like something from a horror movie that all potential partners should flee from. Giving this 2 stars seems generous. Now, I'm like,
Give it 1 then.
I was going to say,
You can
if you're
go
not
down.
really, he's on the background. So, like, how can you be, if you're not really giving something your full attention, you can't really. 3 out of 10. This is a bit of a long one, this. Not for Me by Jack BV. That rhymes. This movie relies a lot on the ridiculous and exaggerated for humour. Humor? If that appeals to you, you may enjoy this movie. The basic tension in the movie seems to be that middle school, they looked younger, is about either sports or other activities, but the Parents Association can't tolerate both. One scene has the association president ripping down flyers for non-sports events and replacing them with sports flyers. This tension means that the two leads embark on childish battles against each other. This lasted exactly halfway through the movie before both the lead parents are guilty, and it makes it hard for either of them to be likable. For the non-humor part of the movie, that was the humorous part. There is some very snappy stuff, including a long scene on the swing set. Yeah.
That really was a long scene.
It really was. Sappy, there's a load of kids waiting to get on them swings. Just off shot. Sappy can be good if that appeals to you again. You may enjoy this movie. Usually I would like it, but I was still too annoyed by the ridiculous aspect and my dislike for the characters. The sentimental popped up too fast, which of course eliminated all the hostility between the leads. It did seem like they went from enemies to
it was literally like
shagging with.
Yeah, there was like there was the first PTA conflict, and then
that was it.
That was it.
Conflict was just
him doing a cake auction. Yeah. The two kids are a plus, especially Kyla Madison. Probably her dad who wrote this.
Yeah.
There's also
if it's not her dad, it's a little bit creepy that he's got.
No, they were like the girl kid was pretty good at it. The boy kid was not very good.
I don't mind it so much, but the fact that he's named her, it's a little bit. It just feels creepy that he's.
Jack BV. There's also a secondary romance between Parker Stevenson as the faculty member and Catherine Hicks as Emma's grandmother co-caregiver. Greg Grunberg is a joke, and he was meant to be, but I still found him very annoying. The movie ends with an emotional speech and another ridiculous plot development. I mean, I don't know what you want, mate.
No, all you have to do is look at the poster of the film to know exactly what you were expecting.
I mean, I don't think there's a lot more to say about this, is there, really?
I have just realised the grandma is actually the last from Star Trek 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there you go.
That's
you said Star Trek 4. How many has there been?
13.
Fuck.
Yeah, original and next gen.
6 originals, 4 next gen, 3 reboots.
Are the reboots the ones that have
the cast of heroes?
Heroes.
All comes full circle.
Wow.
Watch Heroes.
Season 1. No, don't. Watch something good. Watch Superstore.
I'll accept that.
Or anything you watch. Just I wouldn't say. I'd say don't watch this.
Yes.
There's better stuff.
Yeah, there is better kinds of these films.
Please.
World's Strongest Man. That canal boat one with Gloria Hunniford. Oh, the one with Jane McDonald where you play guess what song she's going to murder at the end. That's a good one.
In conclusion, that was Win, Lose or Love. As mentioned earlier, if you'd like to keep up to date with all things Hallmark of Greatness, follow us on Twitter at Hallmark of Great, Instagram at Hallmark of Greatness, email the show at hallmarkofgreatness@gmail.com. Do you still check that at all?
Yeah, it's on my phone, pal. It comes
That's
through.
all right, then.
It's mostly people going, I am podcast promoter. Pay me pound, and I will get you. I will get you download here. And I'm like, there's bearded men on the internet who will do that for more money.
Pound.
Oh.
Them signs you see, isn't it? Like on sellotape, like traffic junctions. I will buy your house for pounds. I was like, I know it's a shithole, mate, but it's worth more than £3.
More than £3, yeah.
Find us on Facebook, follow us on Twitch. About it. Anything further to add to this film?
No.
Good. Joe, anything?
No. Again, I just felt nothing.
Dead inside.
There was no
Good
joy.
work.
There was
12 months in, and we're dead.
No, there wasn't enough to hate, but there wasn't enough to like. It was just
such a middling.
It was a
film.
big fat dude sitting on the middle of a seesaw. Yeah,
there wasn't even like an exotic locale to keep us interested.
No. Right, cool. Been fun.
Awesome.
See you next time.
See you all next time then.
Goodbye.
Bye. I want a band 3. This band 3 job. I don't have enough time for this.